Welcome to this worship service at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation at Shelter Rock. Today, we are recording our worship service in the UUCSR worship room and live streaming because our area has a high COVID infection rate. We continue to be in community. All continue to be welcomed here with us. I'm the Reverend Dr. Natalie Fenimore, and I minister to this congregation with the Reverend Jennifer Brower and the Reverend Jay Brooks. I'm joined today by our music director, Stephen Smith, and our musicians, Caitlin Terrell on piano and soloists, Brace Negron, Leah Wool, Michael St. Peter, and Sarah Moulton-Fa. Here, we seek to create loving religious community, encourage spiritual growth, and to build a more just and joyful world. We seek to restore the balance of our spirits, to create the joys of life and celebrate them together, and to find the strength to meet our sorrows. Unitarian Universalism is a religious tradition which embraces the wisdom of all faiths, which celebrates diversity. We believe in using science, reason, and the gifts of the Spirit to explore life's meaning and mystery. We believe that we need not think alike to love alike. Our message, the message that the power of love is greater than the power of hate and fear, is important to remember today, as we try to hold all the feelings associated with the verdict in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. May we strive to make a world where no more lives are destroyed by fear, suspicion, anger. May we limit the availability of guns which enable such quick escalation of our anxieties, of falsehoods and disagreements and misunderstandings, escalates them into fatal tragedies so quickly. As always, you are invited to our online coffee hour after the service to meet new friends and to see the faces of friends which you are missing. This service celebrates the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday and continues to honor Native American History Month. Let us worship together.
We join now in lighting our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. If you know the gestures that go along with this reading, I invite you to do them here in the sanctuary. Maybe our quartet members know them. I know that Natalie does, and some of you at home certainly do. This is a faith of an open mind. This is a faith of a loving heart. This is a faith of helping hands. Together we take care of our earth and work for peace and friendship in our world. I invite you to join me now in the words of affirmation which express the purpose and intention of our gathering in religious community. The words will be shown on the screen if you don't know them by heart. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need. This do we affirm and covenant with each other. Our quartet will lead us now in hymn 67. We sing now together verses 1 and 4, which will be shown on your screen at home.
We sing out together our song of thanksgiving, rejoicing in goods which the ages have wrought. For life that enfolds us and helps and heals and holds us, and leads beyond the goals which our forebears once sought. We sing of community now in the making, in every far continent, region, and land, with those of all races, all times and names and places. We pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand.
Our opening words are those of Melody Godfred, Radical Thoughts on a Sunday. Gratitude changes your eyes. See the good. Gratitude changes your mouth. Speak the good. Gratitude changes your hands. Embrace the good. Gratitude changes your heart. Feel the good. Gratitude changes your presence. Exude the good. Gratitude changes you. Be the good.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you.
Yay for our wonderful young people. This week, we celebrate Thanksgiving and remember the 1621 Thanksgiving at the Massachusetts Bay Colony, which was a harvest feast of the English Pilgrim settlers and the Wampanoag Native peoples. As the people of Virginia will tell you, there was also a harvest feast there in colonial Williamsburg. And no doubt, a harvest festival in colonial Florida, where the Spanish settled. African people were also present in colonial America. Most did not come by choice, but came as slaves, enslaved to America. Africans brought the feasts of their many cultures to this land. Over time, many people from many lands have come to the Americas: Irish, Italian, Greeks, Haitians, Dominicans, Chinese, Lebanese, Jews, Hindus, Christians, Muslims, and all the many other peoples. Immigrants and refugees drawn to the land with the lady with the lamp, drawn to the vision of the Statue of Liberty. But none came to an empty land. The native peoples were here. It was the native peoples of America who helped the first strangers survive long enough to have that Thanksgiving feast. It was a time of shared celebration. In the beginning, there were the Wampanoag in Massachusetts, the Shinnecock here on Long Island, the Powhatan Nation in Virginia, the Seminole in Florida, and the great Iroquois Confederacy on which the U.S. government is patterned. Having the rest of us join them in this land has been a time of extreme pain and sorrow for the native peoples. They have lost their land and so often their freedom. So as we take time to celebrate and remember the 1621 Thanksgiving, which we think of as the first Thanksgiving, let us also take time to honor the Native Americans, to learn about their history and culture, to let them continue to share the wisdom which they have learned from being on this land for so long, for being here for so many centuries. They were at the 1621 Massachusetts Bay Thanksgiving, and they celebrated their own Thanksgivings on this land for many thousands of times before the Pilgrims arrived. They were there then. They still remain. Let us feast together.
Each Sunday, we take a special collection to support a group that helps people in our local community. During this holiday season, we're helping the North Shore Soup Kitchen and the AIDS Center of Queens County. Your donations provide needy families with meals during Thanksgiving and the December holidays. As you know, the price of food is going up. And that's especially true of the turkeys that are the centerpiece of the Thanksgiving meal. Donate by going to PayPal, by sending a text, or on the giving section of our website. Please be as generous as you're able so that everyone can experience a bountiful thanksgiving.
I invite you to join me now in a time of reflection or meditation or prayer, and I share with you the words of Richard Fuchs. For the sun and dawn which we did not create, for the moon and evening which we did not make, for food which we plant but cannot grow, for friends and loved ones we have not earned and cannot buy, for this gathered company, which welcomes us as we are, from wherever we have come, for all of our free congregations that keep us human and encourage us in our quest for beauty, truth, and love, for all things which come to us as gifts of being from sources beyond ourselves, gifts of life and love and friendship. Let us lift up our hearts in thanks this day. For these thoughts and prayers and meditations, and for those that are held in the silent sanctuary of each heart, I say, so may it be, and amen.
Bread is the staff of life. Bread represents the diversity of the human family. There are as many forms of bread as there are cultures: Jewish challah bread, Irish soda bread, Middle Eastern pita bread, Native American fry bread, breads we share with one another. Bread is a sign of human community. Breaking bread together and sharing it is an act of generosity and of friendship. Bread is embedded in the word companion. The roots of that word are in the words bread, pan, and come, companion, meaning to share bread with. Bread invites us to be grateful for all the gifts of life. Every time we eat, we can give thanks to those who plow the fields, sow the seeds, cultivate and gather the harvest, combine the ingredients, bake and serve us our daily bread, and all the food that sustains our lives. The very idea of bread reminds us to honor the earth and every member of the human family. We can never be fully satisfied as long as anyone goes hungry, and we will never be fully human until our table is big enough to include everyone. Our Shelter Rock community has traditionally offered this sharing of bread, this companionship. Remember these beautiful moments from past years.
I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake counting gifts instead of counting sheep. I've got a heart that can hold love. and duly grateful. Truly blessed and duly grateful.
Thank you. As we have just experienced, it is not really about the bread. We do not live by bread alone. It is the sharing of the bread. It is the sharing, the giving and receiving and the being together. That's the point. It is the love baked into the bread that can make it the tastiest. Even when it's made by a first-time cook and a little hard, it's still full of love and wonderful. Susanna Seton writes this: love in the mincemeat. She writes, 25 years ago when she was in college, she fell in love with a wonderful man and decided to make him a batch of mincemeat cookies on his birthday in late November. Now, normally, she says she was not a baker, and cookies in particular are crazy making because they take so long. You can't just mix them up and throw them in the oven. Each batch must be carefully watched to avoid burning, and the whole process seems to take forever, each little cookie. However, this was love. So she dragged out her mother's recipe, and she made it each year for Thanksgiving. She was going to try it. Well, he loved those cookies, and so did everyone else who tried them, as full of love as they were. They became a tradition for her to make at Thanksgiving, one batch for him and one for wherever she was going for Thanksgiving dinner. And although their love relationship ended long ago, they remain good friends, and each year he receives his cookies on November 25th. No matter where he is, no matter where she is, each year on November 25th. And since he's been living on the East Coast and she's been living on the West Coast for quite a number of years, these have become the most expensive cookies in the world when you consider what she has to pay Federal Express to get them always on time. Now, in general, she writes, she still hates making cookies, but the pleasure that comes from pleasing a friend and the comfort that she feels from the continuity of tradition, it makes the effort totally worthwhile. Now, I can imagine that as many of you prepare to make your Thanksgiving dinner, there are parts of it that are not that pleasant to prepare. But I think that we all put a little love in it to make the effort not so onerous and to make the taste so much better.
Give thanks for the corn and the wheat that are reaped, for labor well done, and for barns that are heaped, for the sun
And in closing, I offer these words from Annie Forster. We are tempted to despair. The world is prone to mayhem and disaster. Why bother? Who cares? What's the use? What can save us from this temptation to despair? A deeply held thankfulness. From thankfulness arises hope, from hope, joy, from joy, wonder. In everything, give thanks, wrote St. Paul. Thankfulness will be our strength in times of weakness. Thankfulness will be our lamp in times of darkness. Thankfulness will be our companion in the times of loneliness. Go in gratitude for the gifts of life and love. Go in appreciation for the presence of one another. Go as thankful people to tempt the world to joy. Blessed be. Amen.
Now we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.